My name is Dr. Joseph Schrand. I'm the Medical Director of Rotary Responsibility, and I've been working with you guys probably since around 2010. I think the work that I do is more than just medication. You know, my whole philosophy is based on respect. Respect leads to value, and value leads to trust. When you really treat someone with respect and remind them of their value, they begin to trust you. And so, as I say, many of the folks I work with have completely unique ways of communicating. And yet, they interact with me. They smile. They can tell me what's going on in their own way if I have the ability to listen and understand how they're communicating. And I think for the folks that I've worked with for this long, it's really been remarkable to see how some of them have truly progressed and been able to share that with me. One of the things we have to understand is a concept called theory of mind. This is the idea that we cannot see somebody else's mind, so we have to guess and theorize what are they thinking or feeling. It is the root of empathy. All autistic spectrum folks, the core difficulty is with theory of mind, the ability to appreciate somebody else's view. Do you see me as valuable? How do you perceive me? Am I safe with you? It is critical for somebody to know what you think or feel about them. When you really treat someone with respect and remind them of their value, they begin to trust you. If I was to expect each one of these folks to talk with me in a way that is traditional, I would be missing out on what the real amazing component is of who they are. That's what's so exciting about it. I want to share a story. I was working with an RTR woman, and at the time we were seeing each other in person. But it was just one person in one house. So the staff would drive her to meet with me in basically the driveway of another house. Now, I just want to point out, I've never asked any of these patients to come to my office. I always go to them. And there's a reason for that. The reason is I want to know who they are in their environment. Because if they are in an unfamiliar environment, they may be anxious, which would make sense. They then may wind up on medicines they don't need to be on, because I'm seeing them in a foreign, unfamiliar environment, which will elicit in them a certain response. So this woman every month, remember I meet with these folks every month, would be driven to meet with me. She had her own unique nonverbal communication, sort of guttural, grunting here and there, very minimal eye contact, always had to have a helmet on because she would at times throw herself to the ground. But every time, while I would get information from the staff, I'd also say, "So how are you doing? How have things been going?" I'm leaning on a window, right? On a window, looking at her as she's sitting in the passenger seat. This went on for several years as I'm chatting with this woman. Once a month, how things going, telling her if they were going to make any medication changes. I would say, this is what we're going to do differently based on what I'm hearing. And then one time, when she comes to meet with me, the staff tells me that this woman's mother has passed away. And I say to her, "I'm so sorry to hear about your mom." I'm getting goosebumps just remembering it. And she looks over at me and she reaches out her hand and just puts it on mine, just for a moment, and then takes it away. And every time I met with her after that, she at some point would look over and just put her hand on my arm, because we connected. I'll tell you, one of the most powerful experiences in my career as a physician to have this woman just realize that I felt something for her. And then she responded. I feel that this particular population of folks is often dismissed. What Rotary Responsibility does is remind all of us that we all want the same thing. We just want to feel valued by somebody else. As a human being, at every and any moment in time, you can remind someone of their value. And whenever you remind someone of their value, you increase your own value. That's what RTR gives to me. Every time I work with one of these folks, they're reminding me of my value because they're engaged in their own way. I hope we all can learn that there will always be times in our life where we feel alone, where we feel that we have no value. And just look around and see what you've contributed. Contribute to humanity to help retain your sanity. But I do think that RTR has really grown. We've expanded. We would not have grown so much if we weren't doing something right. Once the staff really understands the concept of theory of mind, I think that gives them a foundation to recognize what's happening, not only with the person in front of them, but the way they are responding to that person. Remember, we're all interested in what other people think or feel about us. We all want to know that we're valued. But when we're working with someone on the spectrum, that person may be oblivious and not oppositional. They may not always understand that what they do has an impact on somebody else. They're not doing something just to annoy you, or to ignore you, or to make you feel that you're not doing your job very well. Instead, what's happening is they're living in a world where they see things through a certain lens. And once we can appreciate that perspective, you don't have to take things personally. In all other fields of medicine, we have instruments we can look into people. We can look in their nose, we can look in their ears, we can look in places most people would not want to look. But in this field, you're the instrument. If you have a feeling about something, it's usually a reflection of your patient. So if you're feeling annoyed and angry and irritated, maybe what your patient is experiencing. And then you can say, okay, well, that's anger. What do they want to see different? Because anger is an emotion designed to change things. So for the staff, this is what I want you to know. You are the key to how these folks live their lives. It's a remarkable opportunity. It's a privilege. And you're right, we have a diverse group of staff from all cultures, all populations. And yet each one of them is here because they care. My favorite part of the job is really just hanging out with these folks and being able to chat with them. And it's been so cool to watch how they are learning about themselves. You know, many of them are now earning money. They go buy things. They're excited to share that. They buy presents for other people. They're excited to share that. They've had losses in their lives. You know, grandparents passing, friends in the program passing. And it matters to them, which means that they attach and they care. It's, like I say, it is one of the greatest honors and privileges to work with these folks.